childless not by choice. I had 2 miscarriages. My husband left me after the second one. I am not somebody who kids is on the agenda for, because I don't know if I can carry them. But I have noticed that I am being filtered out. And I have a theory, please comment if you agree with this. And this is because of the actual incorrect belief that all women over 35 are thinking biological clock, marriage, kids, babies, or we have babies, or they'd be right in thinking that I'm divorced and have a lot of trauma. Correct, which is why I'm off apps at the moment to fix some of that. But it makes me really angry and really sad that our society is indoctrinating men and women and everybody to believe that biological clock is so terribly bad after 35, because that actually isn't true. Lots of data on the fact that, fertility declines at 35, but you've got to understand, you've got to have a PhD in research to understand data, to understand that we actually don't know that. The data shows that, but that's because everybody's been pressurised to get married and have kids before that. So the people who don't have fertility problems, and I would count myself as somebody who does have fertility problems, but the people who don't have fertility problems have rushed to have kids because of the 35. All of us are rushing. And then the people that are left after 35 in our data set, in our society, are more skewed, so more likely to have people in it who can't have kids.
I honestly feel bad for this woman, but this is an insane amount of cope. 90% of your eggs die in mid-30s, and there aren't a whole lot of women having kids past the age of 35. It is possible, some can even have kids in their 50s, but it is incredibly rare, and it also comes with a lot of risks.
And this could have been something that is present in them throughout, or just more likely to have problems in later age. The funny thing is, to do this experiment properly, you would have to stop everyone from having any children till 35, and then be like, go fuck. And then see how many people could have children. And that's the only way we can definitively say that your biological ability to have children decreases after 35. Some women, you hear these stories, there are so many women who successfully naturally have children up into their 40s. And the problem we have is we don't have the data, enough of the data, because everyone's rushing to do it before 35.
Not enough data? Even entertaining this, you are telling me decades of science and 9 billion people on this planet, and we still don't have enough data to figure this out? No, we have the data and the science, she just doesn't want to accept it.
And I don't know if I look 35, I think I do look 35, 36. I don't behave, definitely don't behave like a 35, 36-year-old because I'm a massive child. And it makes me sad because I'm swiping on people, men, women, non-binary people, who don't care about that. I actually gain from a big section of people who are probably negative for me, swiping off me, fine. But what makes me sad is people who are straight women in particular, whose only option is cis straight men, but also who have internalized this, more importantly, who have internalized that they are in a rush and they might not have children, and it makes me really sad.
Modern women always complain about the amount of options they have, but wouldn't you want to be with people that actually want you? If 99% of the planet don't want me, then I'll seek out the people that do. She still has options that want her, but her yapping about the men that don't is absolutely hilarious.
It's kind of wild that so many common phrases used to shame women actually just indicate the failures of men. So if you think about it, daddy issues is made to feel like the girl can't even keep her father around, when really it's that he abandoned her or mistreated her. A single mom, a man left his partner and all of the responsibilities of their child, but she stuck around, handles it all by herself, and yet is shamed for it.
This is a both gender issue. The men suck, but at the same time the women suck because she chose that man, and women are famous for going after the bad boys. Your parents being sucky isn't your fault, but you are absolutely an adult. You can't ride the absent father wave your whole life.
Aren't you unemployed? Girl, I just the fact that I even have to explain this to you. A man, in my opinion, okay, you may not think this, but I feel that a man should be a provider, okay? A man should be able to take care of, protect a woman.
Sure, that's fine and everything, but nothing about you exactly screams feminine traditional behavior. Let's call this for what it is. You just want a daddy-daughter relationship with the authority of an adult and the accountability of a child.
I'm unemployed, yes. That does not mean I'm about to be okay with dating an unemployed man.
Typically, if you love somebody, the amount of money they have wouldn't actually matter. These women do not want love. They want a dude to just pay for things for them.
They've rebranded the word trick to mean provider.
Trick means provider.
If you look at what people look at as, oh, he's a provider, they really describing a trick. But they've rebranded it to where you have dudes who are proud tricks and they go, no, I'm a provider.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see.
Like, nigga, you a trick.
Yeah. Okay.
But she's rebranded that word, words, power. The power in the word is like, she's rebranded it. So now you look at a man paying for everything as a good thing, and it's like, you really tricking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not referring to you're taking care of your woman and your...
Yeah.
I'm talking about you got dudes who just buying random hoes bags. He's buying random hoes stuff. It's like, you're really a trick.
Whenever women and men too even talk about being a provider, it's always money related. Never providing intelligence, moral values, or good characteristics for your potential future children. If a woman talks about providing, just find another woman. You know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
But they reward you by telling you, oh yeah, he's a provider, he's a this.
A lot of people think I'm joking when I say this, but I would never allow traditional standards to be placed on me. In 2024, by these modern women, as a man. What?
Exactly this, fellas. You say a woman has to do even anything resembling a traditional behavior, and just get ready to be called every insult under the sun and for it to be thrown at you.
The middle class debt trap is real and it affects people who grew up poor more than anything else. Let me explain. I'm going to talk about this tweet right here from Bolasol, where she talks about the middle class debt trap, and she talks about how you then, like, you know, get a nice car, you get a mortgage, you get married, and all these things kind of pile up, and before you know it, your outgoings just to service your debt is like £2,000 a month. Well, more now with mortgage payments being so ridiculously high. And I saw a lot of people arguing with her about this. Well, she didn't argue back, she just ignored them. Good on her. Just essentially saying that this is wrong. Like, so one of the main examples they like to use was the car finance. They're like, oh, who has a car finance up to £1,500 a month? I'm telling you now, right? If you have two people in a household, right? Two people in a household, each of them has like a £350, like a nice car, decent car, £350 to £400 payment a month each, right? That's already, we're on £700. Now you talk about insurance, which is really, really high right now. We're on over 1,000 already. And then let's add in petrol. Let's add in servicing. Let's add in MOT. Let's add in like buying new tires because they just burst for some reason. Let's add in all of that. All of that. It is up to £1,500 a month, just like that.
To the Americans out there, £1,500 is about $1,900 USD. If you're audio only, look at the screen and go ahead and take a look. This is the future, and who is even paying 30 grand on a wedding? Moral of the story, guys, be financially responsible. With that out of the way, I have a second video here today I wanted to go over with you guys titled The 4B Movement is Getting Violent After the Election. Wow, a radical group that threatens violence starts getting violent. Could have fooled me, but this seems interesting, so let's get into it.
You know you're actually getting old when your friends stop taking pregnancy tests with you and start taking it with their committed full-time partners.
You survive. Don't get back
My friend
in
thinks
there,
she's
he'll bite
pregnant, and I was
you.
like, oh my god,
He'll bite you.
let's get a test!
You be careful.
And she's like, well, like if I am, I kind of gotta find out with him. And I'm like, oh, the guy that could be the dad? Oh, what? Deadbeat over here?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah.
Babies love you, daddy.
I'm losing my...
Single women want to keep other women single because they don't want to be alone and left out. These are the same women that want to hurry up and get married and have kids in their 30s. It is not about love, it's about not being left behind.
Yeah. So
Happy
this is a
birthday.
message to all the women who want to enjoy their 20s. They don't really want to have kids. They want to focus on themselves. Make sure your friends are like that too.
The thing about modern women focusing on themselves is that it's never actually about taking up a hobby like reading, hiking, golf, or something like this, working out. For women working on themselves these days, it's always going on and having fun with random men.
And I don't mean to get political, but
Let's just stop there. She's already yelling at me, so you already know how this is going to go down. Like, lady, you're in a room all by yourself. Just calm down.
have you ever seen a man and a woman break up and you're like, he was such a catch? Like, what is she gonna do without him? Oh my gosh, he is so much better off without her. Never! Have you ever seen that? I have never. I quite literally have never seen that.
To say or yell that you have never seen that only proves you've gone so far out of your way to ignore reality. It's like saying go outside and don't see grass, ergo grass just doesn't exist.
Okay, you've never seen this. I definitely have. I've seen guys who dated women who put them down so often that when they finally broke up with her, it was like his entire life force had been returned to him. Like, I've seen guys become confident again just by being
I've
away
been that
from
guy.
their ex. I've seen guys get so used by women that they've actually cried the first time a girl initiated doing something for them after that breakup. I've seen men spend entire marriages getting treated like a
Oh, he's back in the
glorified
cage with
ATM
you.
and being
Are you gonna
chastised
kill him?
for not being a real man if they demonstrated anything but
Watch out,
strict
little babies, you're
stoicism,
delicate.
only to enter their second marriages and see what real reciprocation actually looks like. And I've seen women completely fall apart when they blow things with a good man. You ever hear of a Chad widow? That term exists for a reason. Every single day, a woman fumbles a good man by taking him for granted, testing him, or just assuming she
Oh,
can
so
do
true,
better.
so
But
true.
you're not going to hear about that because these women aren't going to tell on themselves, and men don't take their relationship issues to the internet like women do.
Dadvocate is spitting facts here. Women have a dating incredibly backwards, where they should be testing the bad boys and treat the good guys with actual love and loyalty, but of course they will not do this.
You're a privileged white boy.
Why do you call me a privileged white boy?
That's what you are.
What does that even mean?
It
What-
means exactly what I mean.
what privileges-
You're a privileged white boy.
What privileges do I have that you don't?
Everything.
Like what?
Everything.
Like what?
F***ing man.
Name
Came
one.
out of a woman.
You called me a privileged white boy. That's kind of racist.
Freedom of speech. Racist.
I mean, I'm still yet to hear a privilege I have that you don't.
You live in a state in the United States and you're allowed to protest, yell, and even get violent with little to no accountability by both society and under the eye of the law, and you want to talk about privilege. Protesting over trivial matters when people can't even buy food is a privilege.
Now, what make y'all think y'all the only ones with that damn makeup kit? I have the same damn makeup kit. In fact, I have 4 of them. One with extra large brushes. You know damn well no one said nothing like that.
Alright, how about this? How about we just don't make threats on anybody? It never has to go this far. Half the country thinks one way and the other half thinks another way. There is no need to whip out the strap, and keep in mind this is over an issue that can be solved literally just by using birth control in the first place.
When conservative men say they would like to settle down with conservative women, they mean that. That's true. But they're not giving you the full story. They would like to settle down with a conservative woman. They would like the end result to be a conservative woman. They would like their wife to be viewed as a conservative woman, the mother of their children to be a conservative woman. But they don't want to go out and date that woman ready-made. The fun part is finding a leftist woman, a more free-thinking woman, and breaking her spirit. That's what they mean when they say they want a conservative woman. She doesn't start out that way. Because the fun part is changing her entirely.
How about no? Men are not in the business of putting women through a 5-season anime character development arc, because that just isn't reality. Talk to the women that thought they can change the bad boy. They're all now trying to find the good men they left behind 10 years ago.
Is capturing her and making her fit into your patriarchal mold, because that is the prize at the end of the day. And so you as a conservative woman are essentially prepackaged meat at the grocery store for hunters. These men are not going to the grocery store looking for their women ready-made. They want to go out and kill the animal because that's the fun part.
This is a case of women thinking what they like must be the same as what men like once again. Guys aren't trying to do any of this, and there are women out there that are naturally conservative. They don't have to be ready-made in a store or hunted like animals or whatever the hell this analogy is.
There's no challenge in going to the grocery store and picking up a prime rib. They want to stare the cow down in the face before ruining its life by changing the cow entirely. It's not a cow anymore. It's meat. And tragically, conservative women who spend the better part of their lives trying to fit themselves into these prepackaged molds, it's completely for nothing.
A liberal womanist referring to women as a piece of meat is genuinely funny, but that aside, studies show that conservative women are happier and more fulfilled in life. They're not the ones in their 30s doing drugs, drinking, clubbing, and complaining online about how miserable they are.
Because nobody's shopping at that grocery store. It's going out of business. You are going to sit and rot waiting to be picked because you're cutting out the part that's the most fun, and that's the part where they get to be violent.
I don't even know what she's talking about anymore. The conservative women are being picked up and getting married young. For them, business is booming. You don't really see the pure innocent church-going lady, single, unmarried, and childless in her 30s.
So, if you're catching what I'm saying, all women, conservative, moderate, liberal, anything, this way of thinking conservatively, when it comes from a man, that needs to become extinct. It does not serve us anymore. Why do we continue to serve it?
You can destroy her whole argument of being valuable by asking one simple question. If you are oh so valuable, then why are men not going after you? You are in your 30s. Where are the kids? Where's the ring? This whole video is just ridiculous. But anyway, guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Drop a comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves. Peace.
I actually think that this is always the weirdest thing on YouTube is people that have like their kids in the videos all the time. I just feel like doing that, it's such a recipe for problems, you know?
Kids sleeping on the floor, pets held in tiny cages, and this entire bathroom for a family of 5. Add some teenagers who can't fit, children calling their beds coffins, and you're still just scratching the surface of the worst van life TikTokers. Take for example,
I bet there's plenty of people that do this and they have like, I remember my mom said that they lived in a trailer for a while when they were like going around in like the fucking 60s or 50s or something like this. And they had the same situation. They weren't doing this for TikTok then, right? So I don't know if this is really a TikTok problem. I think this is just a problem with people that have this lifestyle.
Example, Red, White, and Bethune. They gained 11.4 million views by showing how terribly unspacious their kids' beds were. This should be illegal. Those kids are gonna suffer in that space, man. To make matters worse, the beds had rock climbing holds instead of a ladder, which their daughter almost fell from whilst trying to show they were easy to use.
So Molly's gonna demonstrate getting in the bunk and show you just how easy it is.
How will they get down in the middle of the night?
Bro, so they gotta play Fall Guys to go to bed? That's crazy. Who the fuck does that? Why?
When it's dark and they want to use the restroom urgently. What if they fall and hit their head? These so-called bunk beds were actually just shelves, yet the family still defended them as being spacious. At the same time, get this, the parents have a king-size bed.
The reason why we put a king-size bed in our bus is because it's our lounging area.
As well as a massive desk for editing TikToks, forcing the kids to do their schoolwork on a tiny kitchen table. If they don't help out with the van, the kids are punished publicly.
Last night, Molly chose not to do her chores, and if our kids don't do their chores, they have consequences.
Which the parents still defended even after heavy criticism.
Yes, our kids have consequences. Yes, if they don't do the chores, they're gonna have to pay.
And to the trolls, keep on talking shit, and I'm gonna keep on posting. See you guys on your For You page.
But wait, it's still...
This is so weird, bro. Because, like, at the beginning, I was kind of, like, on their side, where it was like, maybe they're just down bad for money and they're doing the best they can. But, like, recording the kids, this is just like, what the fuck? Who does this? Like, there's a big part of me where it's like, I feel like and the thing is, if you think about traditional entertainment, how many people had, like, bad experiences as, like, child actors? Like, you know, in Nickelodeon, for example, there was, like, that weird guy. And so, and probably other ones that we don't know about with other studios, etc. And so it's like, at least in situations like that, people have at least some degree of like help. But if this is your family, man, like this sucks. This is weird, man. Amanda Bynes' story hits different now. Yeah, exactly. It's just bad. It's not my problem. Yeah, I get it, right? It's just like, yeah, to me, it sucks, yeah.
Still gets worse. Everything we've shown so far is in this bus here, yet they also have a van to take on holidays, which has even less space than the bus.
Come take a peek inside and see what we've done.
The van doesn't have a bed for everyone, meaning one of the kids sleeps on this leather chair. Maybe there'd be a bit more space if they didn't own 4 massive dogs, which are shoved in a tiny cage below the bed, yet they still have more space than the toilet. It's
Bro, this is like the point. This is like where they put El Chapo. What the bro, this is some fucking maximum security prison shit. This is insane.
covered by nothing but a thin fabric sheet and sits right in the middle of where
Yeah, that's where they found Saddam
lives.
Hussein.
They call the vehicle their vancation home, meaning when the kids get tired of living in the first van, they're blessed with a trip in an even smaller one. Family of Nomads doesn't have this problem. In fact, they first went viral.
Jesus, man, that's crazy. I think that this is probably an issue with any lifestyle content. Like, so for example, I bet it's like any sort of lifestyle where it's like the parents are really into living a certain way. I bet probably all of those have situations where there's like friction between them and the kids because the kids don't want to choose that lifestyle. I bet like whether it's like travel, sports, cooking, anything like that, I bet it's always like this with every single one of them. Like off-grid, yeah.
For how much space they had, leading to comments such as, I don't understand why y'all don't just buy an apartment. It's way cheaper than this. People came to their defense stating, there is literally no reason to be mad at this, except for maybe how their kids were living. They'd show their room in this TikTok, with the most notable part being that their eldest Addison was a 15-year-old teenager. You should ask your daughter how she feels that she has no privacy. At an age like hers, I'm sure she wants her privacy. Addison hates you. Just because this RV is nice and there's room for their clothes, it's no way to live.
Now, I'm gonna be real. I think that these girls are right. I do. I think that they are right. I bet Addison fucking hates it. Yeah, straight up. Like, if I had to live like that, I'd be out of my fucking mind. Now, it's not my position, right? Like, I'm not the kind of person that's gonna be a commenter and like, oh, you need to do this with your kids. Do whatever the fuck you want. It's not my problem. But like, if you want to ask my opinion, then yeah, it's probably true. Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure the teenager would love to have privacy.
Of course.
Get her a curtain or something. Well, the family did exactly this.
We did install these curtains over each of their bunks so they have a little bit of privacy.
But it was still just one of many other problems. The kids were in a homeschool program, yet it's...
I have another opinion about this, is that I think a lot of the people that try to put their kids into like lifestyles like this are probably fucking weird. Like, there's probably something wrong with them. And it's not like this person is normal except for like this one little thing. So like, you're gonna see a lot of these like kind of weird quirks, you could say, because of that issue. It's definitely the parent's job to realize and organize that she has her time. Even in prison, we understood that. Yeah, but the thing is, the parents don't understand that. And like, there's a lot of parents who are probably like, well, why do you need privacy? We're your family, etc. Like, I remember I had there was a girlfriend I had, and she said that she didn't want me to have any alone time. And I remember, like, I broke up with her, and, like, that was one of the reasons why. Actually, she broke up with me, but, like, I didn't even, like, I was not even trying to have a conversation about this. I was just like, and that's toxic, right? It is toxic, but, like, and it is driving me crazy, people talk like that. And so, I think that people just don't understand it, right? Alone time? Yeah, exactly. I would say, like, most people that probably post their kids all over social media, there's like probably issues.
seemed most of their education was just walking through national parks where the parents thought they'd learn about life.
Our lives are one gigantic field trip, and so a lot of what the kids do is by learning from experience. So, for example,
Yeah, there's no way that they're vaccinated. There's no way those kids are vaccinated. I feel like this is a 0% chance. Yeah, bro, like whooping cough would take out that whole van. Easily. Tuberculosis, done.
today we went to a national park and we
Polio?
completed the junior ranger program.
Nobody gonna be able to drive.
Incredibly educational. They're learning history from visiting different places around the country, and days that we are not going out exploring, they do a traditional homeschool curriculum, and then the days that we're exploring, we still count those as school as well.
So they just learn US history? Lol, when they go to college, they'll be in for a shock. Oof, that's scary. There's a reason schools aren't one giant field trip, and this is a very good point. Schools are for more than simply learning subjects. They help build social circles and prepare kids for a disciplined way of life. But
I know a lot of people have negative viewpoints on schools, but if I had a kid, I would send him to a public school, or her to a public school, a normal public school, because you would need to learn how to interact. These are the people you're going to deal with in your life. And if you can't get along with people that aren't like you, it will ruin your life. That's it. No private school, like, oh, she's going to get a better education. It doesn't matter how smart you are if you don't know how to talk to somebody.
both of which are neglected when strolling around the country. But the kids did have other challenges, like cleaning out the rat cage that stunk out the van.
We live in a camper and our 3 kids have 3 pet rats.
Why would you have a pet rat? That's
Absolutely lying
disgusting.
to you if I said that it does not smell bad.
It's disgusting.
Usually
Why would
it's
you
the
have
kids'
that?
job to clean the rat cage, but about once every month or two, my husband and I will clean it, and it just gets really gross.
As well as collecting firewood, as seen in Addison's day in the life. Yet people were still convinced she's gonna run away at 16, yet the mother went on to state, I honestly don't know a single unhappy RV kid. She'd even post the following.
Yeah, a lot of parents think that because the kids don't want to tell the parents that kind of stuff, but like, a lot of times whenever my parents would put something on me that I didn't want to do, I would fucking hate it. Like, I would hate it so much, but like, I would just have to deal with it. I would just deal with it. And that's just the way it is.
TikTok to try and convince the audience.
A lot of people ask us if the kids actually enjoy traveling full time and living in the camper, and I will have to say that while we were at the RV show in Tampa this week, Grace and Addison both went around and looked at campers because their plan is when they move out, they want to live in a camper together and travel the country.
Until another video told a different story.
Addison has struggled with their mental health for many years. Addison is currently back in treatment and won't be in our content during this time. To protect Addison during this time.
It's like there's a big part of me that thinks that maybe you shouldn't have kid content on YouTube. I just think that there's too many risks. There's too many risks and too much opportunity for abuse. And it's really hard for me to say like whether this is actually something that should happen or not. Because it's like people can express themselves in a certain way. But one thing I would say is that I think that with a lot of these family channels, the way that they behave really makes me uncomfortable. And I think that doing it online enables a type of behavior that I think is detrimental to the kids. And so maybe I wouldn't say it should be against the law, but I wish nobody would do this. It's like, it's not normal. No, it's not. It's not normal to live in a van and drive around the world. Like, it's fucking weird. Like, what are you talking about? Exploitive, performative, gross. Yeah, it's just like, I'm not about it. What's this moth? Get the fuck out of here, bitch. Get out of here, bitch. Fuck you. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I think.
Anyway.